Alright, everybody, I'm going to do the intro really quick because my mother is going to bed soon, so I just want to talk about this really quick. Um, I'm kind of excited to play this to see how the beta, because for those of you who don't know, this was supposed to be the beta of RE4, or one of them. There was like a couple, but this game ended up getting an identity of its own, and then it became Devil May Cry, so this was the one over 3 I'm definitely more excited to check out. We still will be playing all of them, but um, yeah, I just wanted to check this game out next. I mean, I think we're just gonna do story order. So, yeah, one second. This cat is constantly trying to sit on my lap, and it doesn't understand what no means. I have a keyboard on my lap. That's kind of why it's a problem. I have to disable hotkeys. Yesterday, it kept trying to jump on my lap when I was doing Majora's Mask, and it kept loading a state, and it kept freaking me out that it would accidentally save over a save state. So that's kind of a problem. Anyway, we're gonna jump into this. The rest of this is probably gonna be no commentary, simply because I don't know if my mom's gonna come get up and go to bed, and I don't want to wake her up and shit. I think she just went to go get a water, and she's gonna go to sleep. So, okay. Anyway, let's get into it. I didn't start recording yet, so I'm gonna hit record. Okay. Alright, let's get into this. I'll only talk unless I'm confident that it's not gonna be a problem. See you then. Verbally, I mean. Let's jump into it.
Two millenniums ago, there was a war between the human world and the other, the underworld. But somebody from the underworld woke up to justice and stood up against this legion alone. His name was Sparda. Later, he quietly reigned the human world and continued to preserve harmony until his death. He became a legend. The legendary Dark Knight, Sparda.
Devil May Cry. Sorry, we closed at 9. Again, no password. I can't seem to get any real business. Whoa, slow down, babe. Well, what do we have here? Nature calls? It's in the back.
So, you must be the handyman who'll take any dirty job. Am I correct?
Almost. I only take special jobs, if you know what I mean.
You're the man who lost a mother and a brother to evil 20 years ago. The son of the legendary Dark Knight Sparda, Mr. Dante.
Well, the way I figure it, in this business a lot of your kind comes around. And if I kill each one that comes, eventually I should hit the jackpot sooner or later.
In that case, you should be used to this sort of thing.
Are you really the son of the legendary Dark Knight Sparda? Didn't your daddy teach you how to use a sword?
Sword. Time to go to work, guys. As a child, I had powers. There's demonic blood in me.
What strength?
You were the first one to know about my vengeance. It looks like I'm getting closer.
It seems that way, but I'm not your enemy. My name is Trish. I came here to seek your help, to put an end to the underworld.
What?
"20 years ago, Mundus, the Emperor of the Underworld, resurrected.
Mundus.
Yes. His powers were sealed by Sparta. He's attempting to gain control of the human world once again. He has been preparing to open the gate on Malay Island. The castle is above this cliff. Come on, let's go! Ha!
Surprise. I hope for your sake you got something inside that big body of yours. This stinking hole was the last place I thought I'd find anyone with some guts.
don't know if I've been muted the whole time or maybe I hit a hotkey, but we're gonna play a new game. Just give me a minute. It's fine. Shit, okay. I don't know how long I might have been muted for, but I'm just gonna TLDR everything. I really like this game so far. I dropped my keyboard because it was on my lap. I like the game so far. It's kind of simple controls, not crazy, but it's still very enjoyable. It's a lot. I think it feels a lot more my thing than 3 did. Maybe because it's just simpler, but I don't know. I don't know how in depth the combo or combat can be, but so far it seems pretty simpler. But I'm really enjoying it. It feels a lot harder because it's simpler. Like, does that make sense? Like bosses are a lot harder. I'm probably gonna save up for the double jump. And then, what else do I want to mention? I was just mentioning at the intro before I got stuck. I had to Google where the rusty key was in the first level, but there's like a slow build up, a lot like Resident Evil. And I also pointed out that the castle theme has the RE4 theme in it, and that lion door looked a lot very similar to the door, for those of you who remember, in the Novista Doors, the original game, in RE4 original, the Novista Doors section in the cave where the crushers are, the stones that fall down. You go up the elevator, and then you go to where the mines are. Like, the door right before you get to the chapter with the statue that chases you. I think that's 4-4, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't remember that well. But, there is that door there with the lion on it, and that lion looks very similar. The door looks very similar to this here. And what I've been doing so far is I've been drawing a lot of references to how this game, feels like, it really incorporates that beta RE4 aspect to it, which I really enjoy seeing. I never got to experience this game more than playing. I was debating whether or not this game came out, or what demo disc I got with Code Veronica when it came out, but I was one of those people that got the demo disc with Code Veronica on PlayStation. And so my only experience with this game was like running down one of these halls or some part of a game, killing these dummy enemies, but that was my only exposure to this game before I beat 3. But, I mean, even looking at the first level when you enter the castle, you've got this layout, like, similar mansion layout to how Resident Evil would do it. You've got the similar, I mean, again, yeah, from Burble and Pine, yeah, and it's a cool detail. When they mentioned at the Mission 1 how there was dolls, my brain immediately went to, because I didn't remember about the doll enemies. Although my assumption with those is those are the Castilians turned into dolls. I have no evidence of this yet, but I'm going to guess that's the case. But I was envisioning the 3.5 demo where there would be the small dolls in that demo where Leon throws the incendiary grenade or the Molotov. I think it was a Molotov, actually. And I don't know if those small dolls are in this game too, but what else do I want to mention? There was also the FMVs, the cutscenes look a lot like they do in Code Veronica, which makes perfect sense because this game came out around that time. So, yeah. That's all I've noticed so far. And because I do have a little bit of knowledge with this series, I already know who Nello Angelo is. For those of you who don't know, I'm not going to spoil it, but the only reason I know that is because I had a friend who brought it up once, which is cool, but I'm not going to spoil who it is. But again, other than that, I don't have a... Yeah, I agree, Snefton, I do. I agree. I also brought up during this that I at some point I'm gonna have to get the incomplete. I mean, I think it's like it was the 80% build that people rebuilt. I mean, the game has pretty much been rebuilt with some creative liberties, but the 1.5 demo even game I wanted to get my hands on. I agree. I feel like even though it's not the canon, Capcom should have just released this unfinished thing and just said, since everybody loves this stuff so much, we're gonna just, here you go. Because my knowledge of 1.5, the version that was never fully released, there was like not many copies from what I heard. And I don't remember which streamer it was, but somebody mentioned that somebody had their hands on it. And it was like some asshole rich collector hoarder who didn't want to give it out. And I think stuff like that is kind of the argument as to why I'm so pro emulation. And because, especially nowadays, I'm going to avoid politics, but I think this is a point that everybody would agree with. I think the hoarding, like even Pokemon cards and shit. I went to the store. I went to a local store called Meijer recently, and all the Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards were gone. People hoard this shit. They're called scalpers, but this kind of stuff in the gaming industry, and then like EA banning people for using like sim mods when it's a single player experience, and just like that's more and more than ever. I feel like the gaming industry and people need to really push for this idea that if buying something isn't ownership, then piracy is not theft. Because your purchase has to have some kind of power. And so that's why I've been always about an advocate for having more physical media, having less scarcity, and things being more open, because I don't know why you wouldn't want more people to experience your products, even if they're unfinished. You know what I mean? So, fuck it, we'll do another level. I wasn't gonna do another one, but I'll do a couple more. I'm feeling it. We'll do a couple more. I'm enjoying this. Defeat the evil guardian. See, like, I'm old enough to remember, and see, a lot of people, and this isn't a defense. Hold on, I'm gonna get in game first so I can pause, because this is kind of loud. I don't know, it's fine. So, I'm 1 year away from 30, unfortunately. I hate to say that, but it's true. And a lot of what I've been doing recently is going back to playing games that I started as a kid and never finished. Just because, I don't want to say I never played these games. But people forget that PlayStation 2 and even 1 released it like an insane MSRP. And that's not a defense, but the games themselves, though, were never that expensive, right? Like, Pokemon games, I remember you could get off the shelf a DS game for $47. And it doesn't feel that long ago that a Pokemon game was $47. And it was a complete experience. And I'm not going to get into it, but that's part of the reason why I don't buy modern games anymore, is because the value of games increased, the quality of games decreased, the political agendas they shove in them is kind of frustrating. And a lot of times what you'll even see is a game does poorly, and instead of reflecting and being like, yeah, my game sucks, they're like, fuck this fan base, I want a new fan base, fuck this sect that got us popular in the first place, which is the Resident Evil fan base that I'm referring to. Like, as an example, as you'll know, I'm a big RE person, but I refuse to buy RE8. Even though it's a good game, I hated RE7. Everybody's like, it's such a solid game. But I'm like, no, it's a boilerplate, like, bullet point, like,
list of minor things that make an RE game an RE game. RE7 is very much an incomplete game, and it shows. Because you could remove... In fact, you could... As great as RE8 is, and ignore the hype that most people are just simping over Lady Dimitrescu. Let's be honest for a minute. The reality of it is, you could remove both of these games, and nothing to the story really changes that much. The games didn't add that much, honestly. I was of the belief that RE6 should have been the end. But now what we're going to see, and I've told people this, is I guarantee what we're going to see is they're going to push what basically is the Young Justice League of RE cast, where, you know, people wondering where's Jake and Sherry. I'm telling you, it's a matter of time till they band together Rose, Sherry, and Jake. And they're going to be the new cast, and they're going to kill Chris off because they think it's edgy to kill off characters that are important, because nobody learned from Last of Us 2. And they're going to kill Chris, and it's going to be some stupid thing like, as an example, I know we're playing Devil May Cry, but this is, I think, a good conversation to have, is that everybody thought Death Island was such a great movie. But I hated it from the outset because, like, from the outset, it seems like they... Okay, I should step back and say that there's not a game I hate more in existence than RE3 Remake. Everybody in my channel knows this. I always talk about it. It is the worst game that has ever been made, because the original RE3 was the best game ever made. And without getting political about it, and there are plenty of other problems that aren't political with that game, Jill's character is a political change, and that is not Jill Valentine. I don't care about the face model shit. I'm not going to be weird like that. It's just her character is not accurate. That is not Jill. And so, to have her go into Death Island like that was already a problem. But, that aside, if you haven't noticed since RE6, it seems like what Capcom has been doing to every single character is, we gotta give everybody this asshole PTSD arc, where, you know, they do a complete 180 shift, and they're just assholes to the other cast for no reason. In RE6, Chris was made sexist because that was the thing to do to male characters back then. Just randomly make them sexist and make them unlikable. And you know, and then he gets pissy with Leon, and then everybody. And then you see the same with Leon in the CGI movie before the Death Island. I don't remember what it was, but that wasn't a good movie either, where he was mean to Chris. And then now we had it with Jill, where Jill was kind of a bitch to Chris for no fucking reason. And, you know, oh, I have guilt of being possessed by Wesker. It's like, you literally saved Chris's life. This doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? That whole movie felt like a weird fan meetup, and it was really awkward the entire movie. That movie was bad. It was bad. It was a bad movie. It was just a weird, awkward fan meetup. And even, and then they just weirdly kill, you know, the main bad woman from the movie before. It's like, it's really weird. So, you know, you have that, and it's like, I don't know, man. There are so many games out nowadays that I feel like I've been there, done that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, and this is, you know, I brought this up when I was playing Revelations. I don't really like the game that much. However, that being said, that sewer section where Claire is kind of shitting on Chris was also out of character. He's like, oh, he's kind of an idiot. But it's like, Claire, he literally went to hell and back to save you in Code Veronica. What the fuck are you talking about? It's like every girl character that Capcom makes has to have this weird chip on their shoulder. It's fucking weird. They've just got this problem, and it's, I don't know. I don't get it. And like with Moira even, Moira was just fucking cringe. And you know, I'll tell you what, I'm a millennial myself, but there's nothing more that pisses me off than what I call millennial writing. Someone coined that term, and I'm gonna borrow it. I am sick of every game having to be a commentary about someone's life outside of their art, what they consider their art. I don't want to hear about people's lives. Gaming is an escape. It's not a commentary for you to vent. That's how I've always felt about gaming. I come here to relax. I don't come here to think about shit that's bothering me. I mean, you know, and so when I talk to my younger brother and my friends, I like to remind them that gaming should not be about realism. Gaming should be about fun. Stop giving a shit about what, you know, what this game does, or it's not to be taken seriously. It's a game. And people that want realistic shit, I don't call them gamers. I don't. Because they're not looking for an experience to relax to. They're looking for something to align with their political narratives and their beliefs. That's it. They want a virtue signal. So, you know. I mean, even Remake Ada and RE4, like, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Like, I've always, and I had a discussion with one of my other chat members that was here the other day. We talked about the same thing. Like, one game mechanics that I feel should be removed from gaming entirely, because it offers no fun at all, unless it's like a PvP fighting game, is stamina systems. Nobody wants to be forced to fucking walk every 5 seconds. Nobody. I don't know a single person that plays a game that wants to be confined to walking most of the game. You know what I mean? Like, as an example, the reason why RE3 Remake's intro is so bad, aside from it being fucking all over the place, is that you basically just hold up for 10 minutes before you get to play the fucking game. Yeah, I mean, right, like, I feel like there's a place for it, but for instance, as an example, and I talked about this, was I stopped playing Dead Island Riptide. When I got to Dead Island, I wasn't a fan of its stamina system. It was so bothersome. I only finished that game because I bought it. Right? Because returning physical media was more annoying back in the day. Now on Steam, I can just get a fucking refund, which, by the way, this is the Steam version. And now, but the thing is, when I got Riptide, I'm like, this game's just a fucking DLC. This game did not improve upon anything. It's more frustrating. It's more annoying. My brother bought that game. And I'm just like, no, dude, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I can't take this anymore. This game is bad. It was so unfun. I don't know. And, you know, and I can talk a little bit about myself here. I've always defended the artist first and foremost. I want the artist to make whatever they want to make. I don't care if it's controversial. I don't care if it's sensitive to people. Just make what you want to make. And if people don't like it, that's their problem. That's their problem. I don't need a game to cater to me. I don't need a game to cater to everyone else. Just make a game that you want to make, and fuck all the people that are whining about it. Oh, you want to make a lewd, pornographic game? Go ahead and do it. You want to make a game, I guess, of Rugrats, I guess, or something, for kids? Go ahead and make it. I'm not going to play the game. But I'm sick of artists in the gaming industry in general just being too afraid to do anything, and they just play it safe all across the board. I'm just, you know, I'm damn near 30, and it's just like, you got games like Elden Ring. Objectively a great game. It's a great game. But I've been there, done that. I've played all 3 Dark Souls games. I don't need another Dark Souls game. I don't need to play another Call of Duty. I don't need to play Battlefield anymore, especially with how bad the last one was. I don't need any of these games. Although I will say, despite me having the opinions I have, I do believe against the other side too, which are the type of people that when they do something genuine, like for instance, this is something that's been bothering me lately. Yeah, and again, for people that love that sort of thing, great. I'm just saying, I was never, like, heavily invested into that type of game. So, when I beat the 3 of the games, which were great games, even 2, I would defend 2 is still a great game. It's not the best, though, of course. I just think I've experienced Souls-like to death. I've also played and beaten Neo 1, too. So, but here's something I notice that's been irking me as of late. And, you know, as you'll know, I support LGBT people. I'm not going to go deep into that, but I feel like a lot of people get really pissy about, oh, this character is this and gay in this game, and probably, but I don't have the cash to drop on the game right now, but I've considered that, yeah. Only strictly because it would be a co-op Dark Souls experience that wasn't just invasions. But that would be the thing, is once I did that, I probably wouldn't play the next Souls game, even co-op, because then I would have had my experience on Elden Ring. But, which is great, by the way. I think mods are very important. But to kind of circle back and finish this point that I was going to make was, I feel like people want to be in, and I mean this in the legitimate term, right? People, when you want to make a game that includes people and so people don't feel off-put by it, for instance, trans people, I can understand why people would get upset at the propagandization that some people do. But when it's a legitimate, honest case of a developer wanting to make a trans character and people getting, like, really fucking mad about it, it's like, it sucks. It doesn't even have to be that. It could be a gay character, and it doesn't have to be for a political reason. You know, like, for instance, I feel like a lot of people just want to jump to, oh, it's propaganda. It's not because the artist wants to make something this way. And it sucks. Because you could make any kind of art, and it's just instantly just disregarded as bad. It sucks. The gaming industry is not in a good place. You know, it's not. And you know, you talk about $70 games, and I've spoken about this before. It's just, no, it's not worth it anymore, man. It's not. I shouldn't say man, but it's not worth it anymore. It's not. It's just, people are struggling to get food. We can't afford to spend $70 on a gamble. You know what I mean? People that are rational don't spend $70 on a gamble like that unless they have expendable income. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. My family can't afford to buy a $70 game and then be like, you know, it's a toss-up. Sorry for rambling, but, you know, I think this, that was important to talk about. I know I kind of deviated a lot, but... So, there was this game, I don't remember what it was called. I don't think it's called Perfect... Was it called Perfect Dark? What was the game called? There was a game that Resident Evil, people say, was based off of. And there was like a sewer section, and for the life of me, I don't remember what it was called. If you're still in chat and you know what I'm talking about, let me know. Hold on, let me check something. I need to check something. I need to pick my keyboard up. Hold on. Okay, I am getting good frames. I just want to do checks like that from time to time simply because internet's been kind of spotty as of late. Okay, there we go. Just checking. Reason for coming back to a genre. Some people play a series entry once. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think if there's some niche thing that isn't really done, people like to see that kind of thing. Like a subtype of genre. But I try to keep an open mind with what I play. I mean, like I said, the only series I was dedicated to was Resident Evil, and that was until that shit RE3 remake came out, and then I was like, nah, fuck this. So I made the decision that I'm only buying Resident Evil games that take place in the 0 through 6 timeline, or the Raccoon era, as I would call it. Like, it's quite clear that what they're trying... You know, people ask, why isn't there a Code Veronica remake? And it's simple. It's because they're trying to create... Their first objective is they're trying to create a new timeline. That's what they're doing. They're trying to rewrite the canon so that they can kick out the old guard fans. That's what they're trying to do, and that's been their goal for a long time. The classic fans have been a thorn in the side of Capcom for far too long, and they are more than happy to get rid of us. Despite the fact that then, once the camera angle and then the classic RE fans are gone, then it's just going to be the fucking RE4 fans that are left, and the RE6 era fans. There's like 4 sets of fan bases within the Resident Evil fan base. You've got the classic 0 through 4, then you've got the 4 and 5 people, then you've got the 6 Revelations era people, and then you've got the 7 faction of people who will just excuse literally anything. But they want the oldest people gone, like, for sure. Which sucks to see, but it is what it is. For example, not for example, but, you know, to talk about something else. Okay, I could just hold up and B. I started playing, Majora's Mask. Oh boy. Somebody told me about that game, saying it wasn't that good. But you know what? The same people said that Devil May Cry 2... A lot of people say Devil May Cry 2 wasn't good. I'm still gonna play it, though. I have all the Devil May Cry games purchased, so... Alright, there we go. That's one thing I like about this game versus 3 is the combat is a lot simpler, and it feels more geared toward an RE fan rather than... I mean, I'm sure that was the idea, right? They wanted people to, RE fans, to try something different when they branched it off of the original game, but... Yeah, I don't know. I kind of enjoy the simplistic side of things. I've heard people say that game is good. I haven't ever looked into that kind of game. I'll tell you what, though. The next Souls, I have planned to play another Souls game. Right? And the only reason I'm going to do this was because I feel like, since I played the first one, I should. Is I'm going to play Nioh 2 at some point. Nioh was a very rewarding game to beat. It was so fucking hard for me compared to Dark Souls that I started getting, like, really into it toward the late game, like, figuring out the combos and shit, and how to, but, I don't know. I feel like, too, maybe part of the reason is maybe I'm also just kind of bored of, like, medieval knight shit, which probably also doesn't help my opinion of why I don't want to try Elden Ring, but... I should mention, though, even though I have not played Elden Ring, I've seen a complete run of it. You know, another game that kind of inspired me to start this series that I played was, I actually played Darksiders 2. It was like back, I mean, I'm on PC now, but back when it was like free on Gold. It was called Games with Gold back then. It wasn't called the Game Pass now, but it was called Games with Gold back then. On the 360, I got to play it for free. And I was like, wow, this game's actually kind of fun. It has a lot of comboing similar to, this game. I never finished it because when I got through like a quarter of the game, game got way too repetitive and it just felt kind of lazy. So I stopped playing it, but yeah. Yeah, it was like Devil May Cry mixed with Zelda. It was, which, by the way, I have been playing Majora's Mask for the first time. So, I've been streaming that in Sly 4, but I've had problems with getting Sly 4 to work. It's laggy. And, because it needs motion controls to open the save, so I'm kind of concerned about continuing that series. I'd probably need to find a controller that can do motion controls, but yeah. I should mention this just in general, just for the stream. Well, I'm doing the same thing, because I can't blame you for that, because the game's saving system is so archaic that I really feel like it's a negative thing. But whatever. So, I mean, the current stuff that I'm planned, I should just say this for the stream too. Obviously, we're gonna continue all of this, and do the Devil May Cry series, including the Virgil stuff. And then I still, at some point, want to go back and play Ape Escape Pumped and Primed. I beat that game as a kid, but I was doing a playthrough of all first three. I wanted to eventually do that. Probably not anytime soon. We're doing Sly 4, and that'll be the end of the Sly stuff. And then I want to go back to doing some RE stuff, in-depth runs. I need to refresh on some games. Do story marathons and stuff. And then I want to go and play Final Fantasy VIII at some point. I started that game as a kid. Because I was a kid, I could never get past the first fire boss. So yeah, gonna do that. Gonna play the PlayStation version. The ports are supposedly both bad. Some have benefits, but some are worse in other regards, so I'm just gonna do the PlayStation version. And then when the remake is out completely of Final Fantasy VII, like the last part in a couple years, I'm going to do that. Going to do Sparking Zero obsessively when it comes out, of course. That will definitely be there. I want to play Parasite Eve for the first time. A lot of Resident Evil people say that game's great. It's kind of like a Resident Evil adjacent like game. So we're going to be doing that. I have it ready to go. We're going to be doing that. I want to do Pokemon XD Randomizer at some point. That's going to happen. We did Coliseum already. We're going to do that one. And then... what else? I want to play Sonic Shadow Generations when it comes out on Steam at some point. What else? There was something else I think I mentioned too. Obviously, I'm going to play Ocarina of Time. I'm going to play... I guess I should just play... what's that game called? That came in the collection. It was... not Link to the Past, not Skyward Sword. God, it's like the cartoony one, Wind Waker. We're gonna play... I'm probably gonna do Wind Waker too. I have no experience with any of those games, so... Alright. I'm currently streaming Resident Evil 4 Remake to kind of do a refresher for Leon, but... yeah. I don't know when I'm gonna start that. Oh, and the Metal Gear series. I'm gonna do that at some point too. I mentioned. A lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff planned. But I kind of want to just stick with the series I'm working on right now, just so that way, you know, everything just stays fresh. Anyway, I've been talking a lot. Let's actually play the game. I don't want to make people at this part of the video mad when I upload this to YouTube. Oh, and Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is also going to happen. I forgot what the roll button was. Probably gonna die here. Come on, die. Yeah, it's kind of hard. I kind of wasted my devil trigger there, so... I don't understand how to dodge him. Yeah, this is already a wash. Yeah, he literally cheats. He locks onto you. I don't know what to do. I guess I'll do it. I don't know how to beat him. He's literally kind of annoying. I don't want to try again. How can I just reset the game? Whatever, man. This is frustrating. I guess I just go up again. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Do I run up the wall? Well, I don't know what I'm doing. That doesn't matter. Jesus Christ, that enemy is bad. I was not a fan of that fight. Jesus. I'm not gonna save over that slot. Sorry if I sounded a little salty there, but that was pretty hard. Let's see if this came back. Nope. Oh no. Ow. Oh, I had to kill him. Wow, he was kind of trolling, wasn't he? What's your favorite Devil May Cry? You had to pick one. This looks like a boss fight. Oh, you again.
Finally! I was getting tired of playing your childish games.
Whatever. Alright, nice. Ouch.
You're right. I'm his son, Dante. Sweet dreams.
Nice. He's finally dead this time. Copium.
Defeated the Phantom. Incredible power.
Perhaps that trident goes, Oh, let me see. I figured. I think I know where that goes. If I were to guess. Sure. No. Wait. Shit. I figured. Hang on a minute. You know, you talk about cheap viewers on Locked Link, but there's nothing cheaper than trying to advertise. Kind of strange. What do you think? Hold on. Alright, there we go. That problem's taken care of. I've got my keyboard again. Whatever, dude. I know it's probably a bot, but... There we go. I think this is a good time to stop. I made a good amount of progress today, and I don't want to, like... I don't know, have the video going for long. Also, I'm recording, so it's taking up my hard drive. Anyway, so that'll be it for today's stream. I'll probably stream later. Maybe at, like, the PM times. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling later, but... I don't know. If there's another stream, there's another stream. We'll figure out what it'll be, but yeah. Keep your eyes out. I might stream later. Peace.